Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of The Ranting Redhead. I am the host, Aiden. And today I want to talk about something I don't normally talk about on my show and dedicate just an entire episode to. But here we go. I want to talk about movies, but one in particular, because lately I've been catching up on a lot of movies that I missed last year. I saw a good handful, with, at the time, The Northman probably being my favorite movie of 2022. And of course, probably the best theater experience, like a lot of people would say, was Top Gun Maverick, and Violent Night was pretty fun too. However, lately, within the past week, I've been like, let me see what I can watch. So, a few days ago, I watched The Menu, which I thought was excellent. Had a great time. It was on HBO Max. Definitely check that out. I also saw a movie called The Banshees of Inisherin, which is a very different kind of movie, also on HBO Max. It's a story about a breakup of a friendship, and it's very, very great. I can't recommend it enough. But there's one other movie I can recommend above that. Oh, and I also saw Avatar: The Way of the Water in theaters, which I thought was fun. I enjoyed it, but I don't think it was the greatest thing ever. I did see it in 3D, and I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep for about 20 minutes towards the end, and during like a lot of the action scenes, because I thought they were fine. I enjoyed it, but it was way too long of a movie. And the reason I want to bring up the runtime is because this other movie that I just watched, RRR, is like 10 minutes shorter. It's a little over 3 hours. So I was like, I don't know. I've heard nothing but great things about this movie, so I definitely wanted to check it out. But I was like, when am I gonna find the time to watch it? So last night I was sitting down in bed. I was laying down in bed, and I was like, I'll start watching it and start falling asleep. Whatever. Well, let me tell you something. RRR is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen in a long, long time. I am so happy that I actually took the time to sit down and actually watch this movie, because I sat down and watched the whole 3 hours, and I enjoyed every single second of it. It was so much fun. I have not been so entertained by a movie since 2 years ago when I watched Big Trouble in Little China for the first time. I'm serious. And it's similar to that movie in the sense where once it starts, it just doesn't stop. The energy of this movie is constant, and it's so much fun. Not only is it an entertaining action movie, but it's also a comedy. It has romance. It's got a musical number in it. It's so great. They break out into song and dance into one scene, and it's probably the best scene of the movie. I'm serious. Holy crap. I cannot believe how great this movie was. For anybody who doesn't know what the movie is, it takes place in the early 1900s in India when British occupied the country, and they're taking real life historical figures from that time, but they're turning them each into the most badass action heroes of all time. On one side, you have Raja, who is fighting for the British, and this guy, you get introduced to him first out of the two, and he looks like an unstoppable force. He is taking on a bunch of people trying to get in his way. He takes on a whole crowd of people and wins. He is so good. And I'm like, oh, there's no way they're going to top that introduction scene. But then, you get this character, I think his name is Beam, and all of a sudden you just see he's by a pond or something, and he's pouring like a cup of blood on his head. And you're like, what the hell is he doing? And he gets the attention of a wolf that he's trying to outrun and he's trying to trap. Well, he didn't plan on this, is that a tiger comes in. And he now has to outrun the tiger. And he has to trap it. And it's so much fun. And that, I don't know how, that scene topped the other character introduction scene. And by the way, Beam and Raja in the movie may have the best bromance I've ever seen in a movie. I'm serious. It's that much fun, because when they're together, you just have the biggest smile on your face. And you just want more. You never want the movie to stop. But then there's moments where their friendship is wavering, and you just want them to work it out. That's all you want. And just if they're happy, you're happy. And what's great about the movie is it can go into really, really dark places. And the movie is it is violent in a good way. It's very violent. It kind of reminds me of like the 2008 Rambo movie, which by the way, I'm going to talk about Rambo with this movie in a second. But anyway, um it reminds me of when you see in that movie like the bad guys brutally killing the villagers in that one scene, throwing like kids into burning buildings, just doing the worst stuff ever. But that's what makes it so satisfying when they go out later, when they die. It makes it so satisfying. And this movie does a similar thing to where you absolutely hate the villains of the movie, but you are so excited to see them go out in horrific ways. And I wanted to say something about the Rambo thing. There's a really, really cool nod to First Blood Part 2 at the end. I'll just say a scene with a bow and arrow. If you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And that's the thing I love is the fact that it's got a feel of really, really cheesy 80s action movies, which, granted, I love. They're not great movies, but I love them. But they take those elements and they actually put it into a good movie. It reminds me of, I don't like this movie, Commando, with Arnold Schwarzenegger. I've never been a fan of that. But it reminds me of how over the top that movie is and how cheesy it is. That's this movie, but it works. And I will say towards the end, there's one thing in the movie that just bothers me. If I had to nitpick something, this is the nitpick that I have. It's that there's one too many coincidences in the movie that just kind of bother me. I don't like that in movies, but I didn't care because I knew it was going to lead to so much more entertainment, and it does. Beam literally picks up a motorcycle and he hits somebody with it. It's amazing. Like, if you are a fan of movies in general, this movie has everything. It's so much fun. Oh man, I wish I could have seen this movie in the theater. This would have been so, so great. I had a blast watching this movie. It's on Netflix. Please, please watch it. I mean, a lot of people have seen it, apparently, but a lot of people I know have not seen it. So I'm telling you all, watch this movie. As soon as you're done with this video, put down the bag of Cheetos and get out a thing of popcorn because you're going to enjoy RRR. And I am going to give this movie 4.5 out of 5. If I have to rank it, that's the way I'm going to. I've never done that on my channel, but that's the way I'm going to do it. RRR gets 4.5 out of 5 because there are moments that I don't 100% buy, but I don't care. For the entertainment value, it's an 11 out of 5. It's so good. But yeah, watch it. There's nothing more I can say. Just watch it, and I can almost guarantee that you will be satisfied, just like I was. Thank you all so much for listening. I look forward to talking to you all later. Have a good day. Bye-bye!